This is Casper de Nora, and you're watching the Chat with Chaps live show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us on this midweek live show. I'm sure we'll have quite a few joining us tonight as we're in a much better place versus this time last week. So first and foremost, apologies, those of you that were dialing in to see our host, Joe. Unfortunately, he can't join us tonight. He's just back from holiday, as you know, very busy with work. And as probably a lot of you know now as well, he is now the family liaison officer for Millwall, self-proclaimed, by the way. So he's far too busy to be coming onto this show this week. But good news, he will be back next week. So you're stuck with Disco Steve tonight. But I've got two great guests with me to help me through. So first and foremost, at the top there is the hitman himself, Angelo. Welcome, Angelo.
Thanks, Steve, mate. Yeah, looking forward to tonight, mate. It's funny, isn't it, mate? It was like after the Cardiff game, my eyes were going towards the bottom of the table. And then today, my eyes are at the top of the table. It's mad, isn't it? It's mad, mate. But yeah, good vibes, good vibes. We're happy. We're happy. Should be a happy show.
Absolutely. Hope so. Look, we've got a lot of people already saying hello, so we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah. And then also joining myself and Angelo tonight again is the Chat with Chaps' very own answer to Tristan Kramar. We have Mr. Ben Green. Welcome, Ben.
Evening, fellas. As Angelo said, mate, looking forward to this one. It's going to be a bit more of a happier show, I think, tonight. So, looking forward to having a chat to you guys and everyone else that's joined us. So, looking forward to it. Yeah,
likewise. Welcome, Ben, and good to have you on board, mate. Guys, just to give you a bit of a rundown, what we're going to look at tonight is... we don't do this off the cuff. It's all planned and organised. It might look like it, but first and foremost, we've got a bit of a look back at let's just touch on the Luton game. More importantly, then we'll link into the Pompey game and we will assess certain players. You can imagine the guys that we're going to touch on with regards to that. Going to have a look at our strike force strikers. See, how we're faring in that department right now. I think it's right that we discuss Alex Neil and the Alex Neil effect, if you like. Is that taking shape? And then we'll obviously have a touch on transfers. What business are we going to do before the deadline shuts on? I believe it's Monday, guys, isn't it? It's not Friday. Monday.
3rd of Feb, whatever day that falls on.
3rd of Feb. So, so look, guys, in the chat, if you want to make any comments regarding those subjects, put them in and I'll try and save them accordingly and put them up at the appropriate time. Before we go on, look, as always, guys, please, if you haven't already done so, like and subscribe. Every bit of money that is raised through this great initiative goes to cancer research, a great cause, as you all know. So please like and subscribe, even if you're just visiting for once. There's no charge for doing so. Like, subscribe, make some comments, and that all goes to help us raise a little bit more money for a very, very worthy cause. So thanks for that. One other shout out is please look out for Joe has actually done a post-match review of the Pompey game last night. I don't think that's gone live yet. So it's a couple of technical issues, but that will be live very soon. So watch out for that. And as you've already seen, they're really very good. So should be a really good one from Joe there. And one last thing, Joe has left us a nice little surprise at the end of the show. So don't run off early tonight, guys. We're going to finish on a real high. I've got a special video to show you all. It's not his goal. He assures me it's not his goal.
It's not Ben's goal either, is it?
It's not Ben's goal or Ben's penalty, even though he could show you.
You got a goal?
Not a goal. No, not yet. I'm working on one. So nice little video at the end for you guys that we'll show you. So look, before we crack on, I'll just do a couple of quick evenings from everybody watching. So we've got our very own Jesper there. Great point there, Jesper. 7 points from 3 matches. Could be 9 even. And Jesper obviously looking forward to coming to the QPR game at the weekend, which will be great. Evening all, Husey. Yeah, absolutely. Looking up rather than down, as Angelo just said. Oh, this one's got a, oh, I say. Can you pronounce that for us, Angelo?
Yeah, that's a good evening from the real fans of Serbia, mate.
It's sure. Well done. Well done. Those O-level well. Yeah, thanks, Chris. Good evening, mate. Good to see you. Hiya, Carl. Always on, nice and early. Hiya, Carl. Evening, Ozcan as well. Gentlemen. All right, that's a very posh intro. So good to see you. Evening, Larry. Good to have you on board. Lions Roar. Evening to you, Lions Roar. Thanks for joining us. Here's a show favourite. Jeff, who I know is desperate for some new signings, if everything I read on Twitter is right now. So we'll see what we can talk about that later, Jeff. Evening to Gary. Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. What a difference a week makes. A couple of wins really helps. Evening all. Good to see you. We have Disco Dynamite in charge. I can't believe I'm even calling myself Disco now. It's rather embarrassing, but hey-ho, you get sucked into these things. I can hear you in the background saying, you love it, Steve, what you're on about. Dave, I thought you said good news. Yeah. Sorry about that, Dave. We'll see if we got some good news for you through the show. Yeah, Alex. Evening, Alex. Good to have you here on time. And yeah, great to see a difference a week, mate. Evening, Jeff. There's my mate from Wigan dialing in as well, Jeff. Good to see you. Evening, Mike. Thanks for coming on board. Dave Martin. So a salute to the boys' coaching team. Give Tandanga a new deal, no release clause, but if him and the agent want a release clause, make it 25 to 30 million Rolls Royce. He certainly is a Rolls Royce player, and I'm sure we'll discuss him during the evening. Guys, as always, I'll do my best to put up as many comments as possible and hellos, etc. Apologies if I miss any. If I do, please blame Joe when he's back next week for not training me properly, and we'll see if he can improve that. So let's crack on with the show. So we said we'd look, but we're not going to look back in anger, as we know in this part of the world, Ben. We're going to look back with a smile on our face. And we said we'd have a little touch on Luton first and then link into last night, more importantly. But little look back at Luton first, guys. Ben, do you want to kick us off? Give us a little bit of a resume of that.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Went into it, I think, like most of us. I said to my dad I would take a point, and I couldn't see us getting a point just off the back of the two bad performances. But look, we were excellent, weren't we? 1-0 flattered them, to be perfectly honest. If Connolly scores the penalty, their keeper made a couple of really good saves. I thought for us, I mean that's the bar now. In terms of performances, I thought it was Alex Neil's best performance. I thought it was the players' best performance. I just thought we were excellent. They had a couple of moments, didn't they? But they didn't create anything from open play. It was all set pieces. Carlton Morris had a couple of chances from set pieces, but outside of that, he's still in Jaffett's shorts somewhere. And them two had a real good sort of old school tussle, didn't they? That Jaff was certainly on top of. But as I say, just a proper good performance, a proper championship away performance, and one that I just mentioned, 1-0 really flattered them. Was absolutely delighted. So as I say, I think that's the bar setting now for me. If we can perform anywhere near to those levels, then we're going to be a handful for anyone. I thought we were excellent. The only negative was the obvious. I mean, Alvey lost 2 more players from injuries, just madness. I didn't think it was possible, would you? But that's the only negative. But as I say, great result.
Yeah, I'd agree, Ben. And look, not to be on a negative, you're right with the injuries. Christ, we've had years of pain with injuries, haven't we? But this year is just taking the biscuit. You know, it's unbelievable. And Phil Forscannon, worth mentioning now, I heard 12 weeks today.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's what I saw on Twitter.
I mean, look, I'll come to you, Angelo. Sorry, mate. But for me, you know, surely we can't really afford to keep him if it's 12 weeks. And he's probably better going back to Liverpool and freeing us up a spot for another loan, I'd imagine. You know, seems a bit harsh because the lad's done well in the little time. Probably a bit selfish. I don't know how it all works, but we'll see. But Angelo, anything to add to the Luke
All I'll say is I thought it doesn't matter where you see Luton at the bottom of the table, it's still a very, very tough game going there. There's no two ways about it. They're a very, very physical team. I did actually think that first half, I thought Morris probably did get the better of Tanganga, if I'm being really honest. Yeah, but second half, mate, it was all Tanganga and Cooper. Like all the headers they cleared. But there was that one chance he should have scored, shouldn't he, Morris, where he sort of like headed it into the lap of the player and he scooped the ball. But some outstanding performances. I thought Kramer was superb and rightly got man of the match from the Sky people. Cooper and Tanganga were fantastic. Brian's had a couple of good performances. Bangora, another assist. Yeah, I saw that thing on Twitter. I will find you and I will assist you. Absolute quality, because that's what he's like, isn't he? He just assists everybody. So yeah, great pass to Ivanovic, and what an absolute brilliant bit of quality, mate. When was the last time we could say that quality from a Millwall striker? Quality strike, straight in the corner. And mate, he was unlucky not to get a hat trick, Ivanovic. The header, great save from the header. The keeper with his feet, very good, that keeper. And obviously there was that one where he sort of like volleyed it into the ground. Possibly could have took a touch, couldn't he? Could have took a touch. But yeah, listen, it was still a good effort and a great save. But brilliant performance, mate. And great 3 points away at Luton. Great.
Just to pull out another individual performance, Steve. I'm sure we'll talk about a certain Mr. Bangura Williams in a lot more detail again tonight. I thought it was a very, very complete mind blank. I thought it was a very mature performance from him. He didn't have a lot of the ball at times, but when he did do it, he'd done a lot of the simple things right. He then didn't try and do too much with it when he was in the game. I thought it was just a very mature performance. As Anzo said, another assist. And you could see the confidence that after we scored that goal, it was a fantastic move that him and Ivanovic had down the left-hand side, one touch. And we actually overplayed a little bit in their box. But as I say, just wanted to highlight that, it was a really mature performance from him because, as I say, he wasn't in the game all the time. But when he was, he did a lot of the good things, a lot of things well. And his defensive work again was excellent off the ball.
Yeah. And Ben, I can't believe that we forgot to mention your man.
Yeah, big shout out. I was going to wait for after the Pompey one because he did well again last night, didn't he? So, but yeah, look,
Connolly, we're talking about Connolly. Yeah,
he's completely replaced Bradders for me. Bradders who he's my new lover. Look, I think we've said it a few times, haven't we, Anzo? I think if we can get his head right off the pitch, if he can get a little bit fitter, because he does go through he does blow out of steam a little bit, doesn't he, towards the end of games. But you can see his quality. You really can. He's technically excellent. The penalty, he's bashed himself, isn't he, online about it and said how bad it was. I'm going to give him a little bit of credit. He did take the ball and said, I wanted it. And he wanted to obviously go and take the penalty. So fair play to him for having the balls for that. Was a bad penalty. But then, again, I thought he was excellent when he was on. So, I think it could be a little gem for us there.
Yeah, 100%, mate.
I'll echo that, what both of you have said. But yeah, Connolly, for me, you can just see the guy. Isn't it nice to see somebody who can bloody trap a ball and control a ball and even go round a player for at long last? He's a bit different. The penalty's really interesting because he's got a bit of stick for taking the penalty and none of the senior pros chipping in and taking it off him and all that stuff. I've got to be honest, watching it live, I thought, good on him. He's got the balls to take it. To me, he looks like a good striker of a ball. So you think, well, he should be a good penalty taker. If you've probably obviously seen it, he actually hits down on the ball, doesn't it? Sort of takes he mishits it, basically. He doesn't hit it cleanly. That's the difference. You hit it cleanly, it's going straight in. So he sort of hits it down into the floor first, just shows you what can happen. But I wasn't too disappointed. And look, let's be honest, without going to that team, who would you have trusted to go up and take a penny?
That was what I was about to say, mate. I don't know who else. I mean, Neil Harris made a comment in the studio, didn't he, to say that Watmore was the penalty taker. So, yeah. I mean, listen, when he did step up, I thought exactly like you, mate. He's got good technique here, no problem here. But as you say, I don't think he was his finest striker of a football. But it was at the time. I think we all went, "Oh, here we go. We know what's going to happen here." But if that would have been, as I said earlier, if it was 2 or 3-0, I think it would have been a fair result, personally.
Yes, some really good chances. Look, Miha's goal was off the scale, great finish and build up. You're right, Angelo. Could have had a hat trick. The header, could have maybe got a little cleaner touch on it. But the volley at the back post. I mean, how many times do they kick up and go over the keeper because it's an awkward one? But the keeper got to it. But to be fair, he just had to bring it down and slot it in, didn't he? You know, if he had his time back, I'm sure that's what he'd do. But I'm going to go ahead to last night. But you know, he is just a clinical finisher. He's not nervous of putting the ball in the net or phased by it, which is a real encouraging thing. So, yeah, really good. Kramer, again, he was mentioned. Look, what a performance. What a find he looks. You know, I'm really impressed with him. Playing out of position as well. Looks a decent find. And as you say, Connolly. So I think we're all, me as much as anyone, frustrated with lack of signings. But we've actually got 2 decent ones through the door. We need another 2 or 3 at least, and we could be in a good place. And we'll come on to that later. But yeah, Luton done and dusted. The one thing I'd say on Luton, opposition-wise, Morris, would you like him up front for us?
I'll take Morris, mate.
Wouldn't get in now, would he?
well, that's the thing. But he's a beast.
But yeah, I would. He's a
He
handful.
looks so strong, doesn't he? He looks so strong.
He would be a dare I say, a Millwall type player, wouldn't he? He's got that real aggressiveness about him. Just on Luton as a whole, couldn't believe how bad they were. Certainly from open play, they didn't create anything, did they? We had that little sort of goal mouth flurry where George Honeyman did his best to roll him in on the 6-yard box. But apart from that, they didn't create anything, did they, from open play? I was really surprised. But I mean, that's why they're down there in the league, I guess.
They are dangerous on corners, though, aren't they? My God.
Yeah, every time.
Shit in it. Yeah.
Did you see the one from Doherty when he hooked it right wide and it came right back in? Like, you know, the quality of the delivery is. I think that was the one when it was headed down and it ended up bouncing up into Jensen's hands, you know. No, I agree, Ben. I think Luton were poor. I think we stopped them from playing, in fairness as well. I would go on record before any signings they bring in, which they've started to splash the cash, haven't they? I wouldn't put them as going down, to be honest. I know there was the great song going on, the old double relegation. Brilliant. I wouldn't put them in the bottom 3, and certainly now with the signings, they're meaning business, aren't they? And they've got enough in there.
Yeah, I'm sure that's about.
But you never know. You never know. I'd rather be. I wouldn't want to be where they are. That's for sure right now.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to say there, guys. Thought James Brown has joined us, so I feel good. Bet you never get told that, James. So welcome along. Something going on here. Must be City losing a game, but
no, there is actually a fire, Steve, at the stadium. But I think it was under control last night. Yeah, there was and they got. I think they're playing there tonight, aren't they? Yeah, they're playing. Yeah, the game's on and everything. So.
Oh right. Villa are 2 up against Celtic, by the sound of it. So we're just proving we're live, guys. That's what it is. But so that was. As you say, the bad news was the injuries, and obviously Jensen getting injured was, I'm sure we all thought at first he was just playing for time a little bit, but then he's out. But it looks like it's not a long while, but any thoughts on that, Jensen being out?
I think you summed it up, mate. Originally, I thought he's time wasting here, but obviously to be stretchered off, it must be something semi-serious. Just our luck at the minute, as I said earlier, mate, isn't it? It's just typical.
Not half. So let's go on to last night. Let's go to you, Angelo. Should we have a quick review of last night's game?
Hey,
if it was Joe doing this, he'd say great game down at Fratton Park last night, where it was Portsmouth 1, Millwall 0. So let's see what you think of that, Angelo. But the proper one, which was obviously
obviously, this is the game where they didn't have enough money to turn the lights on, so obviously they rescheduled it. I was a little bit worried, and the 2 reasons I was worried is they rested 5 players against West Brom, so they literally threw that game, didn't they? Which is a bit naughty in my eyes.
Yes.
So I was a bit worried about that. And also their home form has been tremendous. I think they won 4 on the trot and they knocked quite a few goals in as well. I think they'd done Middlesbrough 4-1, didn't they, or something?
Yeah.
Along their lines.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit worried about that, but we sorted them out, didn't we? We sorted them out. We made them pay. That would have been a good team talk as well from Alex Neil. Like, these mugs have rested 5 players because they think they're going to do us. So that would have been an extra incentive for the Millwall players, I believe. But great performance. The miss from Bangora Williams, oh my God, it was so painful to watch, wasn't it? When I saw the ball coming across, I thought, oh, what a lovely start. And, obviously the kid is predominantly left-footed and it's fallen on his right foot. I think if we'd have switched it to the other side, he scores, mate. But it's something for him to work on. We're obviously going to forgive him because he's our new star boy. But I was saying to one of my friends earlier, if that had been Honeyman, we would be spitting feathers, wouldn't we? We wouldn't have forgiven him. But listen, he made amends, didn't he? With that great assist. It was a millimetre perfect ball through to Ivanovic. But it starts even before that. And, Watmore started the move, funny enough. But the 1-2 between Reece and Casper Denor was quality. It was absolute quality, perfection. And then the through ball is just brilliant. And, Ivanovic, what I'm loving about this guy is every single goal he scores is completely different, mate. He's took just one touch and then just scooped it over the goalkeeper. And, Reece posted on social media, thank you for getting me out of it, brother. He also done a little Instagram, didn't he? No excuses, which I love that. I love all that. He's taking responsibility for that miss. But listen, the kid, what he's done in 3.5 games, whatever it is just ridiculous, mate. 3 assists, should be 2 goals, but it's 1 goal. I'm not just saying it because he's gone, but he's had such, he's had a much better start to his Mill career than Essa, and you know what?
I thought I'd get one of you two then.
I was so embarrassed for Essa. I was watching that game, and when he's gone and done the knee slide, I'm thinking, what are you doing, mate? You're 2-1 down. Get your ass up the middle of the pitch.
He's been down the road at them lot for a week, and look what they've turned him into.
I know he's lost the plot, the poor kid. But
do you know, on that, in fairness, he didn't hit that cleanly, That could have,
he nearly missed that.
He could have easily gone and hit the post like a Bangora moment. So, please stress that. It was nice for him to start like that.
Yeah, listen, we all want SA to do well, but Palace to lose, don't we? It's as simple as that. So if Palace can lose 2-1 every week with SA scoring and getting in the England team, we'll be happy with that. So going back to the Pompey game, mate. Brilliant assist, brilliant goal, and then second half, backs against the wall, weren't we? Really, they were also dangerous from their corners and their crosses. They were quite physical. Yes. We had one really good chance in the second half when Ivanovic had a chance like a snapshot, but he's hit it way over the bar, didn't he? And then credit to Joe Bryan as well. He's done a really good block in the first half, mate. It was a great block. And then obviously our keeper stepped in and he literally didn't put a single glove wrong, did he? It was like that diving Superman catch that when he claimed the ball and landed on the floor and still held on to it was superb. I think it is early days to say let's drop Jensen, but it's good that we've got a great second goalkeeper and he was tremendous. And I loved his reaction at the end of the game, giving it to all the fans. I love all that. He seems like a really good character, doesn't he, around the squad?
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah, but great performance. And I just want to touch. I know we're going to come to Ivanovic later, aren't we?
We'll come back to the players. Ben, do you want a quick over Pompey the game?
Yeah, Angelo summed it up great. But listen, again, I want to call out Bangura Williams because after the miss, you do fear for a young player, or any player at that point, and you just go, is he going to knock their confidence? But again, come back in the game before the actual assist, he just carried on doing what he was doing, didn't let it affect him. The pass is if Kevin De Bruyne had done that, we'd be raving about it. It'd be goal of the month. It was absolutely top quality. Again, the things I've seen him do in the 4 or 5 games that we've seen him, I haven't seen from Millwall players. Someone's going to come at me in the comments and tell me who it will be, but I didn't see Esse doing the things that Bangura Williams can do.
Agreed.
And certainly not as early on. And he's just what a find. I mean, what a find. Long may it continue. My only worry is he going to get bloody injured? The way we're going. But look, listen, he's just, he clearly loves all the support he's getting from the fans, which he will do with the performances he's putting in. Again, I thought the midfield worked really hard. Credit to them because they're just rolling out performance after performance in terms of the minutes that they're getting in. It's got to be tough that the amount of games we've had in the last couple of weeks and the squad size that we've obviously now got. So, listen, it was a contrast in performance to the Luton game where we were very controlled. It was a little bit less, certainly in the second half, but any win on the road is a good win. Any point on the road in the Championship is a good point. So, back-to-back wins, and we just roll on to Saturday now full of confidence, don't we? So, nothing more to add apart from another great goal from us. Great team goal, great finish. Yeah, superb performance.
Yeah, totally agree. A couple of takeouts from me in addition to what you've said. I thought both games we've started well, haven't we? The other team as well, but we've started well. That where we sit back and we're straight under pressure always worries me. We started, competing from the first kick. That for me is an Alex Neil trait, and we'll come on to that. I thought it was really good. I think they had a corner or a free kick, and we broke away. And it's a really fast break down the left wing with Connolly and I'm not sure who was with him, but we broke. I'm not sure that was the one that led to the Bangura.
I think it might be, actually.
Yeah, I think it was.
Was it the one that resulted in that? Yeah, the great quick break. And I thought, like the look of this. Look, the Bangura missed, unfortunately. I'm jumping up. I'm off my chair. It's in, and then I'm looking, thinking, what's going on? They celebrated. And then when they showed it back, it's like, oh my God, it didn't bobble or anything, And my biggest concern was, as you say, it's going to ruin it. He's going to be so pissed off and so get to his head. But I go back to what we've been saying for a while now, particularly. He's got a very strong head on his shoulders, isn't he? He's clearly mentally strong. And I mean that in the nicest, it is the nicest sense. And that's going to see him in good stead. Because to then put that behind him and play a really good game anyway. But as you say, that move and that pass, as soon as it went up towards the defender, you knew it was going through, didn't you, into Ivanovic's path. So you knew we were going in on goal. And I'll be honest, straight away I thought he was going to score here. That confidence, a bit like the Derby goal, wasn't it? Where he went through Ivanovic. He gives you that confidence on a one-on-one. He's going to score. There aren't many strikers we've had in recent years who I would back on a one-on-one. And Ivanovic certainly does that. And, the old celebration is bloody fantastic. So I think in some ways they were similar. We weren't as good at Pompey, but we had a better sort of first half, didn't we? And then a very solid defensive second half. Hugely solid. The back 4-5 were immense, supported by the midfielders, obviously, but they to a man. And as you say, Joe, shout out to Joe Bryan as well as the other four who were other 3 or 4 with the keeper were excellent. Phenomenal defending and solid as anything. The one negative request I'd have, if you like, can we retain the ball a little bit better when we're up against it? We do concede possession so easily, don't we? And lob it up front and give possession away to teams. And a better team will take advantage of that. So I'm sure it's something Alex will be working on, and hopefully we'll get the players to do that.
That was the only contrast in the Luton and the game last night, Steve, because I say the Luton game, we actually we kept the ball really well when they were sort of putting us under a little bit of pressure. When we managed to get it, we then kept it, which we didn't seem to do as well last night. But I think having seen us against Hull and Cardiff, where we didn't do it at all, to then see us against Luton where we did it really well, certainly at times. Yeah. Look, we're certainly capable of doing it. But yeah, that would be my one thing to take from it. We do need to keep the ball better at times.
Yeah, agreed. I think somebody in the chat, sorry, I've missed it now, was asking, RBW and the BFS. God, all these bloody acronyms now. It's CDN. Won't call them names anymore. It'll just be acronyms. But are they striking up a real partnership? That's 2 games, 2 assists and a goal. You know, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, 2 20-year-olds as well, mate, as well. Do you know what, Steve? There was a really good comment, actually. It popped up. I think it was John Parr. He said, would Neil Harris... there you go. Yeah, that I agree with that 1,000,000%, mate. I love Neil Harris. But if Neil Harris was here, would we still be seeing Honeyman and Watmore playing in the front 4? You know, would we? You know, at the end of the day... Race, Bang Williams, and Ivanovic, they're now starting to get minutes. They're now starting to get confidence, and they're now starting to produce assists and goals, mate. And long may it continue. But I don't think Harris would have thrown them in like they're being thrown in. But I'm so pleased that they have been thrown in because listen, they are such bright sparks, the pair of them, aren't they? Absolutely brilliant.
It is really worth mentioning that. I think certainly in the away games, Angelo, I don't think he would have. I think he would have gone with the harder working, sure-fired, in Honeyman, etc. So, I don't think he would have, mate.
Do you know what it is, right? Like we always say that our players need to be braver on the ball, and our manager's being brave. Do you know what I mean? And like Neil Harris was a great manager, great motivator, but did he lack a little bit of braveness by, taking a risk every now and again with these youngsters, you know? And I'm so pleased that, touch wood, it's been a risk well taken by the boys and from Alex Neil as well and the coaching team, brilliant.
Yeah, spot on. Look, I totally agree with both of you on that. Again, like you both, big Harris fan, but I have to admit, there's no way certainly RBW would have been playing in those away games, bench at best. I'm not sure he'd have even made the bench. It's just Harris's way, wasn't it? And fair play to Alex Neil. Look, we can argue injuries have forced that, but there's still enough, senior pros around to sort of fill gaps. So, look, hugely refreshing. I think that's a great comment, Angelo, that they've got to take a gamble now and again, haven't they, a manager? And I remember Rowett saying, you can't, I think when we were talking about, what was his name? Who's gone to Stockport, the striker? Alafi. There were times when, look, and people will argue he was never good enough to make it at our level, but he never got a fair chance, really. And there were times where you thought, Christ, sling him on. We're losing in a game. He's on the bench. We need a striker. Sling him on. And at Rowett's view was, you can't expect a youngster to come and dig you out of a hole. And, well, why not? You never know. They might suddenly make a hero of themselves. They might sink and die. And look, with the greatest respect, they're not good enough if they sink and die, are they? You've got to find out. But as well, the manager should know if they're mentally tough, as I keep saying. And that's where Race, I think, is streets ahead of many. And I don't want to dig out the SA and Race comparison. But
we can, mate. We can.
Ben's in there.
Straight in.
I'm at the minute. He's very favourable, isn't it? Very favourable in his camp. So Christ, what does the future hold for him and for us? Brilliant. Absolutely. I thought this is a good point as well, guys. Kramer did well against Murphy. Murphy surprised me last night. He was better than I thought he was.
He's a good player, mate.
In the pan for Oxford. Yeah, he was good. And look, he had a tough time, and I think he looked a bit leggy at times, Kramer, but I'm not surprised playing fullback. He's just a great find, isn't he? And I think somebody else has mentioned there. Looks a real find. Look, it's a bit of what we were just talking about, that giving players a chance. So, guys, all positives, particularly in the attacking areas. With just on RBW, what do you reckon is his best position right now?
I mean, I would say in the 10 because he's going to get more of the ball and have more of a chance to influence it. We've seen the range of his passing and his ability to spot a player. So I would say the 10, Steve. But listen, you can play him anywhere, really. Genuinely, I mean, anywhere across that front three, he's going to be fine for us, isn't he? So I would like to see him in the 10, though, as I say, just because I think he'll be able to affect the game more for us. If we can get him in those pockets on the half turn, playing those balls like he did to Ivanovic last night, well, it's going to be dangerous, isn't it? So,
do you know what as well, Ben? Right, in one of the interviews that Alex Neil done last night, he did say they've been working on the runs that Ivanovic has to make, and with a guy so good on the ball, like Reece Bangura Williams, I can just see more and more assists and more goals for Ivanovic. You know, it is a great little partnership them two have got going. You know,
it is. And one thing I have slated Ivanovic about was saying he's not quick. He certainly weren't. The defender weren't catching him last night when he got for on goal. So he's found half a yard of pace from somewhere.
And Ben, do you know what's so good about that goal, mate? He only took one touch.
Yeah,
Ivanovic took one touch and then scooped it in, mate.
I think same thing with Bangura Williams. I think he only had one touch and played the pass. So it was real quality all round, wasn't it? The confidence for him to dink it as well.
If Ivanovic takes one more touch, I don't think he scores.
No,
because the angle closes and everything.
Yeah.
He executed it perfect. The
Agreed.
ball was perfect. The execution was perfect. The 1-2 was perfect. It was a perfect goal. Perfect goal.
So, yeah, look, agreed. Going back to that RBW position, do you have a view on that, Angelo?
I'm same as Ben, mate. As long as he's in them front three positions, I'm happy.
Yeah, I know Joe would say the same, and I think Joe would say the 10. I'm just thinking, look, I might be wrong. Feels like he's contributed more when he's been wide, even though I would probably prefer him more central. Argue Luton, he was more central with that ball, but last night was wide. You know, look, I think that's summing up, and he can play anywhere. So,
on a side note, you know when Billy Mitchell come on last night, I think he was in a 10. I think Billy Mitchell was playing in a 10 when he come on.
That's what the commentator said. Yeah, on mine. That's what the commentator said. Into the 10. Yeah, it's a bit strange.
Billy Mitchell in a 10, mate. That's crazy. That shows that we've got injury problems. Do you know what I mean?
Don't look the same, Billy, to me. He looks a bit.
No, he is. Do you know what? I was having a chat with my mate earlier. He looks so stiff. He's like a robot, mate. There's something not right about him. He's not moving like he used to move. He's literally. He's like the Tin Man in fucking Wizard of Oz, mate. He's like, you know what I mean? It's just something not right about Billy.
Confidence, fitness. Shame, because the new model fits Billy perfectly, doesn't it? You know, in terms of him being in the team right now. And hopefully he'll have a role to play.
I'm hoping it is just down to fitness, Steve, because he just doesn't look right at the moment, mate. And hence him making that mistake against Cardiff. You know, last season, I'm sure Billy clears that ball, but there's something not right. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Oh, don't go back. Don't go back to Cardiff. I don't mind looking back to Luton. We're not going back to that. Oh, no. Jesper's asking a question there, I think, on the lines of, you know, with the success of SA and Bangura, should we be looking at more of the youth, bringing them through? What's your views there, guys? And maybe in the chat, anybody make a comment?
I think the main one that sticks out, and I've liked him every time we've... yeah, maybe. Yeah. The one that sticks out for me is Alfie Massey. And again, I really liked what I've seen of him. He was really good in a couple of pre-season games. Did well in the League Cup game against Pompey early on in the season. He would be my one we'd be looking at to bring in soon. Vandal was on the bench again, wasn't he? I know it's probably more again by injuries. But listen, with the new model, and I keep saying it all the time, if we can keep a conveyor belt coming, because if Bangura Williams keeps doing what he's doing, we're not going to keep him forever. So we've got to have another one waiting in the wings to be lined up to come in and, do their thing. So there's probably a few. Dan Kelly's an interesting one, isn't he? Like, I know he's not from the youth setup, but he's a young prospect. Yeah. We haven't seen next to anything of him, have we? Obviously, only in the Leyton Orient game that he played. Is he going to look to be lined up? But I think the one from the youth system, as I say, would be massive for me.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, he does look the business to me. I agree, and looks mature for his years, doesn't he, Massey? Yeah, for me, looks like
looks a really tidy ball player as well in middle of midfield. I think he's a little bit different to the midfield that we've currently got, Steve. In a sense, they're all quite similar, quite defensive-minded workhorses. He looks a little bit more technical in there from what I've seen of him.
Agreed. Yeah.
Do you know the only place I would be very ultra careful is the defence. To bring in youngsters into our defence, I think it's a big ask, isn't it? But yeah, because that's our main bread and butter. We are a good defensive team. So, but yeah, moving forward, mate. Even when we get all the players back from injury, I always like to see 1-2 academy guys on the bench. If ever we're winning 3-0, whack them on for 15 minutes, give them a bit of experience. But I'm sure that Alex Neil will do that, mate. I'm really pretty confident. There was an interview. I don't know if the listeners. I posted it in our group. There's a BBC 3-minute interview with Alex Neil, and he actually says that was his remit at his job interview. Is that the club wants him to identify young players and give them a chance. And he actually verbally said that, come out of his own mouth last night, which I thought was quite interesting. Yeah, and listen, he's doing it, isn't he? He's given back his chance, and
he's buying into the project, or this new model, as we keep calling it. I'm wondering, guys, going forward, is Gallen going to be classed as the new Fagin, like with the kids out in the street, getting all these kids into the football team and come with me, kids. I'll show you a game of football. And let's hope he can find a few artful dodgers. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So look, we're in good place with the youngsters. Great place. Look, a lot of money and pressure on the Serbs' shoulders. And I think he's stepping up to the plate. Don't want to go over the top, for any of them, but we can only judge on what we're seeing, and it's very encouraging right now, isn't it? I think we'd all agree.
Do you know what's so refreshing, Steve, though? Like, you look at all the interviews with a Serb, he loves us. He loves us, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He loves the club. He loves the fans. He really does want to do well. What a great kid, mate, honestly.
Correct.
You can just tell that he's loving life. Yeah.
Yeah. And look, London will be a good fit, won't it? It's a great city to, we down our club at times, don't we? Who wants to come to Millwall? Well, you're on the doorstep of London. It's a great city versus bloody, some of the northern towns they can go to, or bloody Luton. Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? So, look, he's buying into it all round. Look, that links us on. Don't want to
just
give
Steve,
anybody.
whilst we've got that comment, I think that's a great comment down there. The quality of goals that I don't know if you were going on to that, so sorry, Steve, if I've jumped ahead, but the quality of goals we scored, not even the last two games, the Cardiff game as well. The quality of movement, the quality of goals that we're scoring, the chances that we're creating. Yeah, we haven't seen that good of passing football at times for a long while. So, yeah, I think Rob's really right to pull it out. The attacking play that we have scored, the attacking goals we have scored, we've looked really good going forward. So, yeah, long may that continue. And if it is something Alex Neil's obviously working on, then, yeah, keep doing it.
Yeah, do you know what it is? It's almost like we've stepped up a level in quality, haven't we?
Yeah.
You can really see it, mate. Great comment, mate. Brilliant.
Well, look, we're going to come on to Alex Neil, but he's saying, isn't he, that we're making it clear to the players what we expect them to do, what what their contribution is, etc., etc., etc. That seems to be having an impact, and long may that continue. Before we do go on to that, linking in with the big Serb, I, for one, at the beginning of the season when we talked about new signings, had a lot more excitement about Mr. Langstaff starting for us and banging a few goals in versus the Serb, even though a lot more money. It seems to have flipped on its head a bit. What's your views on, is there anything Langstaff could learn or link into that the Serb's doing that would help him? What's your views?
Do you know what, Steve? Like,
score a goal. Well, yeah.
Like Steve, I sort of like analysed these last two away performances, right? And the Serb had 3 chances to score at Luton, and he scored 1. So 33% conversion, yeah? Last night, the Serb had 2 chances, right? Scores 1. 50% conversion, yeah? My God. I would accept like 20% conversion, mate, yeah? And, Langstaff has had his chances, mate, and he scored 1 deflected goal, hasn't he? And so, yes, he hasn't had the minutes recently that Ivanovic has. But, I just don't – it's a horrible thing to say. I just think this is one level too much for Langstaff, sadly. You know, I would love it for him to work, but, you know, the Serb is showing that he can score, like I just said about the conversions. There's no contest at the moment, mate. There's no contest.
Ben, any thoughts other than score, as you said?
Yeah, I say that tongue in cheek. What's he got? 1 in 27 in the league for us. I mean,
a lot of them are sub starts though, so
they are. Yeah, I get that, mate. I get that, but I think for me, like what you've said there, Anzo, when he has had his big opportunities, I think back to the one at Borough, didn't stick it away. The Coventry one, was it Coventry at home? Or Luton at home, we went through Luton at home. Again, was a good save, but I'm starting to be with you, Steve. I just think, again, I look at him and Ivanovic, he's got a frame about him. He's clearly got a good touch. He's going to grow and learn anyway. He's only going to get better. Langstaff, what is he, 27? 27?
27, 28.
27. So, look, he's not old, but he's not Ivanovic and 20, is he? And he's not exactly going to gain a huge amount. So, listen, again, he hasn't been involved in the last 2 games. I know there was a rumour about him being injured. Would I be surprised if we got another forward player in and we saw him go back on loan to Notts County? Probably not. At the minute, it's looking like it's going to be tough for him, isn't it, to turn it around? I think when people have been comparing him to sort of the slow starts that Morrow and Gregor's had for us, again, there was. I always felt with them like they would come good if we gave them a bit of time. I'm not feeling that or getting that vibe with Langstaff. I've got to be honest.
I agree with that. I'd say early doors there was some promise. I met QPR when the assist to QPR, great ball into can't remember who. Oh, it would have been Watmore, was it? Who scored that when he was scoring for fun at the beginning of the season? Great ball, and I thought, oh, he's showing signs, and it's dwindled away. So look, maybe for playing more confidently, more attacking, he might get his chance. I thought last night he'll come on and maybe nick a chance or two, and he really didn't do anything, did he? And doesn't really get involved. I mean, look, good point. I know we've already mentioned it, but Ben's favourite there, and he's right. You know, very impressed with Connolly. He just looks, he's got it. That's the difference, isn't it? You can see Connolly has got it, whereas I don't want to dig McCauley out, but it's looking a bit of a step.
Yes, Steve, with Connolly, I would say Connolly's got an X factor that at any stage, at any moment, he could just turn a bit of quality and just do something like that curling shot right to death last night. My God, if that had gone in, what a goal that would have been. Yeah, correct. We ain't got many players that can do a shot like that, you know. You can just tell Connolly, and, you know, his defensive game is great as well. That's what's impressed me a lot as well. He tracks back and helps defensive. Yes. And, he's just got that. He's got that little bit of quality in him, mate. If we
put the ball in last night for Bangura Williams as well, the miss, Angelo, it was a good ball across the box.
Right.
Huh?
He put the ball in for Bangura Williams, didn't he, as well last night?
Yeah.
And let's not forget, and he won the penalty at Luton with a great bit of skill.
Yeah. Oh, he is definitely an asset to us.
Looks a good fight. And listen, 90 minutes yesterday, didn't he? Played the full game, didn't he? You know, so more of that. One thing, and if anybody on here knows Aaron or can get in contact with him, lose those stupid gloves. You look absolutely ridiculous. Get rid of the gloves. We're not having that. Absolutely. Unless he's got string around them, holding them around the back of his shirt. Dear me, terrible. But no, good. He's doing well, and let's hope we get more of that. So, guys, don't forget, everybody listening, your comments are coming in thick and fast. Thanks for that. And please like and subscribe. Put comments on YouTube. It all helps with the algorithms and all helps us raise a bit of cash for a great charity, Cancer Research. So please support that as best you can. Want to move on now to, we've mentioned it already, and please, guys, put your comments in the online as well. How much of an effect is Alex Neil having right now? In addition to what we've already mentioned, what's the views on that?
Yeah, I think a huge amount, to be fair, mate. I think Angelo, I'll let him talk about his press conferences, but I think we're all very impressed in what he's saying. I think you can clearly get a view on how he wants us to play. I think going forward is a clear style. And let's have it right, he's really got his hands tied behind his back at the minute. If we have half the amount of players back in the side that are out at the moment, then it's going to improve us again. So, yeah, look, I think he's doing a fantastic job in a very, very difficult situation. He said it about the injuries. We all know it. I'm really impressed. I'll let Angelo talk to his press conferences. But again, I've loved everything he said so far.
Yeah, I love listening to him, mate. Every interview he does, I take something from it. Like last night's interview, like he said that he's loving the job, right, which was great. He said, "I'm loving the job," and he's loving working with these players. And that comment he said, "What's so refreshing is the players are asking me what to do. They're asking for information from me." What does that tell you? It tells you the players respect him, mate. Yeah. Because we've got some seasoned pros in that dressing room, and he was saying that they're asking him, and he said it's so refreshing that they're coming to me, and it's just, he in most interviews he will big up 1, 2, or 3 players. Yeah, he will say how well they've been doing. He hasn't used any excuses about the injuries. Yes, he has said we've got a depleted squad at the moment, but he's not really used that as an excuse in the early games when we weren't winning. And the most important thing that I can't stress enough is we're seeing players improving. Ivanovic, the biggest one, yeah. But you're seeing players getting better. Joe Bryan, he spoke about Joe Bryan's quality in one of the interviews. Joe Bryan's going to listen to that. It's going to buzz him up. It's going to make him play better. And Joe Bryan's performances have improved since Alex Neil come. And do you know what I'm really excited about? Right, this is what I'm really excited about. Is Imaku, Aziz, Coburn, right? If he can improve them, right? I am a massive Imaku fan, right? I love the guy, yeah. I can see the potential in Imaku. There was obviously a problem with Imaku, and there was a problem with Harris. There's no doubt about that, yeah. Yes, and one thing that really excites me about Imaku is he was best mates with SA, yeah. He's seen his best mate move to the Premier League. He's seen his best mate score on his Premier League debut, yeah. He's got a fresh start under a new manager, and I can't wait to see how he reacts to Alex Neil, mate, because I was chatting to one of my pals on the phone earlier, and, Imaku probably used to get me off my seat more than SA did. When he used to do them darting runs into the box. And I can't wait for Aziz, Imaku, and Coburn to see what Alex Neil can do with them as well, mate. I am so impressed with Alex Neil. And I think we have got an elite manager on our hands, guys. I'm not just saying it because we won 2 games. I just love everything, the way he speaks. The players have also mentioned him in their interviews. Saville, a senior pro like Saville, has mentioned how good it's been working under Alex Neil. Cooper has mentioned how good it is, the tactical stuff that they go through, how thorough Alex Neil's been. It sounds also positive, mate. And if we can get a couple of additions, right, and get these guys back off the injury table, one of our first comments tonight, HMS playoffs, let's fucking do it.
Don't get Ben started on that. He'll start smashing the cash again. So
I'm sorry.
I said last night, didn't I? 21 points from automatic. That's all I'm saying.
Love it.
You're fucking going up, boys.
We were getting relegated on the live last week. Now we're going up as champions.
We are so bipolar, aren't we?
Like my mate Jeff, 1 win and we're going straight up, and then we lose and it's all doom and gloom. But that's the life of a Millwall fan. Couple of points I want to make here, guys. Craig's made a point there. Craig, genuinely from that, and I think I speak for all 3 of us. I don't think not for 1 minute are we digging Bomber out in terms of our comments. No. It was just in terms of, and I stand by it. Look, we will never know. Would he have played Bangura and the Serb more? He certainly wasn't playing the Serb, or chose not to. Oxford being an example where it all sort of turned sour. But look, Bomber's top of my list as a manager for our club and a legend at our club, and always will be. And on that note, Hughesy's made a really, a key point here. Interesting. he's saying there. I think he's saying what we're saying there is nonsense. It's the injury crisis that has created the opportunities, not the tactical bravery. I know my view on that, Hughesy. Great point. But boys, any views on that?
Well, what I would say to that, is like, again, right, I love Neil Harris. There's no way I'll ever slag that geezer off, The bottom line is Neil Harris has gone and we've now got another manager. We have to back our new manager. And that's all I'm doing now, I'm happy with what I've seen. But I would never, ever say a bad word against Neil Harris. Neil Harris, like you just said, Steve, we don't know what he would have done, but I would edge my bets that he probably would have maybe kept Bradshaw, maybe used Honeyman more than what Alex. That's what I would guess, because he puts a lot of faith in his seasoned professionals. Do you know what I mean? So, listen, it's one of them things. We'll never know, will we, mate? We'll never know. But at the end of the day, I'm happy the way things are going.
My view. Look, we like you say, we never know. Look, RBW maybe has had a bit of early luck with the injuries that we've got. He's got into the squad. He's got on in the cup game. He's taken his chance, and he's followed that up with another decent cameo performance, and he's gone on from strength to strength. Hughesy, we'll never know. I'm like Angelo. I would never slag Bomber off. No chance. I personally, yes, that has helped. The injury crisis has helped somebody like RBW get accelerated into the first team squad. But I do think there's been a bit of bravery. Alex Neil could certainly have played the last few games without starting RBW. He could have. There's enough, we might be to the bare bones, but there's enough squad players that could have played there, and he's put him in. So,
100%. He could have just given him 10 minutes as a substitute if he would. But I think he has been brave, but to put him in from the start.
Yeah, but look, it's a game of opinions. We'll all have that, and a good point there from Hughes.
On this note here from Craig, did you notice last night he made a substitution just after 50 minutes?
Yeah,
I haven't seen that for a long time as well. So that was obviously a tactical bringing on Honeyman for Watmore. That he made an early decision, which was, again, he must have seen something and made that decision.
Agreed. Honeyman did his usual mistimed tackles, but he runs around and he tries his hardest.
He does, yeah.
But I think to be fair, I don't want to dig him out, but for Honeyman and for the likes of Watmore right now, because of the improvement in some of the other players, it's actually making them, stand out a little bit more. Yeah. So, but look, rather, positive than negative. That's for sure. So, any other thoughts on Alex Neil, or should we move on that one, guys?
All good for me.
No, I would say I'm like Angelo. I don't want to sound like a sado or a bit of a perv, but I do love listening to the guy talk as well. He's just so he's very he's not a monotone or one tone, but he's so balanced, isn't he? And just calm, collected. You'd imagine people will buy into what he's saying because he doesn't get overexcited or too
and I love it that he said it a couple of times now that he's loving the job. That really that's so important.
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah.
So that's the Alex Neil effect. Look, we're coming up to an hour, guys. I think we've done all that. I think it's a good time for us to move on to what do we need in the next few days and for deadline of Monday. God, I'm doing a Joe now and giving false information out. So fake news, guys. Sorry about that. But look, for me, I will stand by my previous points that, look, for me, Gallen at the moment, Kramer, he can stand up tall and say, look at that for a signing. Agreed. Looks like a real find. Connolly looks a real find so far. So two additions in the window that have straight into the team, both of them, and both delivering early. So that's great. But I'll stand by. I do think we should have had more in by now. I'm a bit surprised it's taking us so long. And the way it's going, it doesn't look like we're going to get any until, in time for QPR. I hope I'm wrong, but it doesn't look like that. Hopefully we'll get some injured players back, which would be great. But yeah, look, assuming we do get some, and I know there's some doom and gloomers who don't think we'll get any in whatsoever. I can't imagine that. Well, Neil said last night, didn't he? We're definitely in. There'll be a few moving parts, but we'll definitely get. We're looking to get some new faces in. So, what's your views, guys? What do you think in terms of what we need and maybe any ideas on names, etc.? Ben, do you want to kick us off?
In terms of names, mate, I mean, one that we'd spoken about previously was Theo Asgard from Wigan. Looks like he's pretty much done now from Luton or going to Luton. So
that's confirmed that one, mate.
It's confirmed. So there you go. So yeah, a little bit disappointing whether we were in for him or not. He would have been the sort of player I'd be looking at. It's interesting now, isn't it, to say who or where we need to strengthen because yeah, they are actually thrown there. I haven't strategically placed them in at all, Chris. Yeah, interesting now because will there be an element of the club going, look how well we're doing on bare bones, look how many players we've got to come back. So would that shopping list maybe have gone from 4 or 5 now down to 1 or 2, possibly? In terms of the lateness of the window, unfortunately, we are quite low down in the food chain, aren't we? So I'd imagine we might be waiting for other clubs to do a bit of business, then it comes to us. I'd still like us to strengthen in the forward areas, but I must say now, obviously, with Connolly doing well, RBW, I don't want to see him out the side at all for the rest of the season. I just want him to stay in there. I think we all will agree on that. Probably not as many needed now. Coburn doesn't seem to be too far away. Angelo's mate in Amaku's not far away. Yeah, it's a tough one now, isn't it? I think it's sort of, it has thrown a bit of a spanner in the works. It'll be interesting to see how the club view it. I don't know what you fellas think.
Do you know what? I was thinking exactly the same thing as you, Ben. We've got to be careful now because, like, Alex Neil actually said in one of his, I don't know if it was to the press or on an interview, he said we've got some players coming back very soon. I can only think that is Coburn. It's got to be Coburn, isn't it? Because Coburn, yeah. I thought he'd have been back by now. Aziz, and then there was Imaku posted on his social media
soon,
didn't he? Yeah. So he must be ahead of schedule. So yeah, we got to be careful because. But then again, you know, we could have the mega strong bench, which is going to create even more competition with places, which is going to improve.
I mean, they're good problems to have. That we're talking about here, right?
I think obviously we should go out and get a right back. Yeah, do you agree?
That'll be a really interesting one, won't it? Because what would you do with Crammer then?
I'm not dropping him, mate. There's no two ways about it. But yes. I'd probably go and get another.
It wasn't a drop-in, but if you got a real sort of wing back in, proper right wing back in, yeah, what would we do? Would we drop him? Would we move him out of the side? Would we then just maybe you couldn't really mess with Coops and Jaff, can you? So that's an interesting one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Rotate, I think, is probably the answer. Strangely, I don't. It sounds stupid. I don't see right back as a huge priority, even though we haven't actually got a natural right back in the team. But it sort of feels like we've got players that could fit in there. This is me in terms of priorities. If we're only going to get 2 or 3, there's other areas I'd strengthen. But look, I think we should have. I think you're right, Angelo. You probably should have some genuine backup, but like you say, you probably wouldn't drop Kramer, and but use for rotation, and you know, subbing your favourite, you know, subbing players and fresh legs, all that sort of stuff. But look, let's get back to this. The 10 is the role that they identified weeks before the window opened. It came through reputable, the news at Den or South London Press saying Millwall are in the market for a 10. We haven't got. Look, I think Connolly could play there. I think he could play there well, actually, but he's not a natural 10, is he? I don't think. We've got RBW there, but again, he can go into different positions. We were mentioned Cundall. Any views on, because that's gone quite.
Cundall's not. He's not a 10 though, is he? Cundall? I thought he was a midfielder.
I thought he was an attacking.
Yeah, I think he's certainly an attack-minded.
Oh, is he? Right.
Yeah, I think that's where they'd be angling for him to go in, Angela. I think.
I've got this sneaky feeling we're going to get him. I don't know why. I've got a sneaky feeling we're going to get him.
It's very weird for us to release names, isn't it? I always feel like if we're releasing names and saying we've put bids in, we normally end up getting them. I can't really remember too many where we have said we're identifying X and then haven't gone and got them. So interesting that Wolves obviously rejected that first bid, or apparently did. So again, what did we bid? It'd be interesting to see that. The 10, yeah, maybe I'm probably less worried now than I was a couple of weeks ago, Steve. I'll be honest, because I wouldn't want to take it from RBW. I just want him in there. You say you have got Connolly that can play in there,
and Billy Mitchell.
Yeah, Billy Mitchell, yeah, the main one.
Harry Wallace, in fairness.
I still think the
Watmore played there for a bit last night as well. Watmore was in the team.
Yeah. So I still think for me the wider positions I'd rather strengthen than the 10 now.
Yeah, do you know what, Ben? We've gone from 0 10s to now we've got like two. Yeah.
Agreed.
It is interesting, isn't it? Will we chop and change our shopping list on the back of that? You know, I'm probably thinking longer term as well as for this season. Do we need I'm going to say, then you say RBW plays there, so why would you say you need a 10? Yeah, it's an interesting.
I suppose that even by saying the wide players, Steve, you're then going, well, Azizi's coming back and Maku's coming back. So there's your two extra wide players. I think logically they're going to have to get a right back, aren't they? An actual right back rather than the Frenchman doing a fantastic job like he is doing at the minute. But again, like on to your point there, Steve, it's not just about the here and now, is it? We're probably almost going to, I don't want to speak on the club's behalf, but I'd be surprised if both Danny and Lenny get a renewed contract now off the back of those injuries. So either which way, we're light in that position. So whether they go for a short-term loan option and go after a bigger target in the summer, or they try and get that person in now, I think the right-back position now is going to be one of priority just for the club.
Wait, can I just say as well, right? You know, like with Alex Neil, in my opinion, has improved players, right? Can you imagine improving Aziz, RBW in the 10, improve Imako, and then improve Ivanovic? That's a strong, young, dynamic 4 up top, isn't it?
I said it last night, and I still can't find a price for us to win the Champions League next year.
How do we qualify for it, mate?
When we win the FA Cup.
Oh, do you get into Champions League for FA Cup?
Depending on the league, doesn't it? Depending who then wins the league and that sort of thing. So you can.
Could we handle the league format though? This new league format of the Champions League. Okay, now. Jesus. Here, look, there's an interesting point. I've got to say that divided opinion when that news was, and that. Tell me if I'm wrong. Didn't that come out the day after Cardiff when everybody was a bit pissed off at the 97?
We lost this guy.
Is he gone?
And it came out.
This guy's frozen. This guy's lost his moves, Ben.
I know, mate. I know. This disco ball stopped spinning. I think we know what we're going to say there, Angelo, so we might as well carry on.
Oh, he's back.
He's back. He's there. He's there.
Fucking hell, I nearly had a heart attack then. What's going on here? Jesus.
Went like a Dalek, mate.
Joe was going to suddenly appear on screen and say, stop right there. So sorry about that, guys. I just got twirly whirlies on the screen for a minute, so apologies. But what's your view? Is that genuine? Do you think that's going to happen? What's the view?
Listen, I wouldn't be against it. I thought it was weird timing for me, but again, we sort of spoke about it last week, didn't we? In a sense that if he's returning from injury, so are the club thinking now? I think Andrew, you said it last week. Is Coburn's valuation sort of at its lowest point? Is it a bit of smart business from the club? If he comes back from injury and scores 10 goals, are there going to be other clubs in for him? Possibly. Be a nice problem to have again, but what's going on with Latty Laff? Is he on the move? Has he moved?
I've got a feeling he's going to go in the last couple of days, mate. I reckon he'll be gone.
So again, I'd imagine there might be dependencies there because Borough might not then want to lose Coburn in the summer. So yeah, there's probably a lot of moving parts to that. But as a whole, look, if we did get him in, I think it's another good young centre forward. And I think then, just going on a point we spoke about earlier, where would that probably leave Langstaff if we got Coburn in permanently as well, which I'd imagine would be in for decent money? You might see an exit from him in the summer then. But look, I wouldn't be against Coburn. I think the only elephant in the room, again, we'd all agree, is just his injury record so far. If we can keep him fit, then it'd be even better signing.
Do you know what, Ben? Also, right, listen, I don't want to be the slag off Langstaff session, but Alex Neil always likes to play with one big striker. So Ivanovic is a big striker. Coburn is a big striker. It is really like, is Langstaff going to get in this team, you know? And it might be we need to cut our losses, guys. If we paid $750, we can offload him for $400 or whatever. The League One team, then we've got to do it, I think.
The phrase you used there, Ben, was the moving parts. And much as that cheeses me off a little bit, because you've got to wait for the moving parts and the domino effect. That's the reality of what's going on right now, isn't it? That there's clearly some things going on, and it depends who's coming in, who's going out. I mean, I think Ozcan there is playing Secret Santa. He wants how many is he wanting? 6? Jesus. I'm not sure. Look, Ozcan, I love your enthusiasm and positivity. I'm not sure we'll get the 6 in. We've never got 6 in the past. But I reckon 2 definite additions and possibly the Coburn deal, which, like you, Ben, I'd agree.
And I think that'd be a decent window. That, Steve. I think if we got what when you say 2, would you think permanent or 1 loan, 1 permanent? Would you be bothered either way?
To be honest, I don't really mind. Look, I think it's January. If there's a deal to be done, let's do it. But I don't mind a loan to see us through. And look, with either a loan to possible buy or even just a loan, just see us through the season. Like you say, right back. Yeah. If it's somebody just to see out the season, I wouldn't have a major problem with that personally.
And on 2 of the loans, as we mentioned earlier, will Scanlon now go back to Liverpool? That might be terminated. Obviously, we've seen very, very little of Wintle, haven't we? Will he go back to Cardiff? Will he want to go and play some football elsewhere? Will there be people and clubs looking at him? So there might be an option that you lose 2 loans there. Frees a couple of spots up, doesn't it? So it might be a case that we're in the loan market. But I'd like a minimum of 2, I think, in the door.
Agreed.
If we could.
Agreed. I do think you've got to be careful because it's only 2 wins, but the pressure is off a little bit. And with RBW stepping up and certain other players, certainly improving, you start to think, that 4 or 5 we felt we needed at the beginning of the win. But then again, if you get 2 in, that's 4, isn't it, in the window? With Kroner and Connolly, so it probably would.
Do you know what? There's obviously big question marks about Steve Gallen, and I'm. It's too early to judge him, but the 2 he's brought in this month, I'm really happy with.
That's a good point.
Let's see if he brings another 2/3 of that similar quality, and we've offloaded Bradshaw. Then I would say it's a good window, mate, for January as well.
I think, like Ben said, if he brings 2 in and we sign Coburn permanent and the 2 are half decent, like Kramer and Connolly, you can actually say he's done a bloody good job. It's early days to say it, but got to say it is the case. And he'll be walking around like that. What is it? Do they call it a meme when they come out at the festival? The guy comes out onto stage and they come out like that. A big Gallen, wasn't it, walking on like that, giving it a big one. So, look, let's hope it's the case. I think the other thing we've got to be mindful of is, like we're saying, do we need another 10? Do we need another winger? Don't forget injuries, God forbid, like we've got now. It can very quickly change, can't it? Injuries, suspensions, form. Let's not forget form. People look. RBW started like a train, and I hope it continues. And we do. And like you, Ben, should be on the sheet, first name on the sheet from now. But he might have a little blip. He might have a drop, and there's no problem with that. Rest him. Give him a rest. It's not a kick in the balls. It's sensible management of a player. He's proven now he can do it. So we need now we manage his game time and what have you. In my mind,
Just another thing to point out on the 2 that we've brought in so far, Steve, is the ages of them. We've been crying out to bring the average age of the squad down for the last couple of years, haven't we? And I think certainly we started last year with the highest average age in the league. think we did this year as well. We've signed a 23-year-old and a 25-year-old. So, well, just turned 25-year-old in Connolly's case. So good ages. Again, have still got room to improve. So again, if they carry on doing what they're doing, there's going to be resale value there, which we don't want to talk about them leaving already. But again, they're good ages for the club.
There's reasons to be cheerful, isn't there? Simple as there really is. Anybody know who this is? This Stephen's talking about, the Chelsea fullback.
No.
6-month contract. Forgotten his name. Don't know.
No.
Stevens. Sounds like I wouldn't be surprised if that's the sort of deal we go for. Ozcan is saying Luke Cundle. Yeah, I'm with you, Angelo. I've got a sneaking feeling that might happen. And like you say, Ben, it's not like us to have these names come out in public and then something not happen. So, and he's not gone anywhere yet.
This guy's got some ridiculous passing statistics, isn't he? I saw like 96% accurate passing or something. I saw somewhere.
Only 2% behind RBW.
I'm just looking at the comments, right? What are we going to do about Nisbet? What are we doing with this geezer?
He's long forgotten about in my eyes. Leave him in Scotland.
Why don't we try and sell him for God's sake and get some money?
Well, I don't think he's been tearing up trees with Aberdeen, is he? So, but it's going to be an interesting one. I'd imagine he'll be on a decent wage. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the ideal scenario, isn't it? But who's going to be takers for him?
Would Plymouth have him?
Be some Scottish team, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Plymouth,
I mean, that's going to be the logical, isn't it?
Don't know. I thought about him today and I thought, Jesus, there was a bit of noise about getting him back, but you'd absolutely not want that now, would you? That's an interesting one, guys. Forgot that, actually. If Scanlon's out, I think left back. Talking about right back, left back's where we probably need cover, really. Look, Joe Bryan's playing brilliant.
Yeah, you're right.
He's only a knock away from being out for a few games or a suspension or, as I say, form again.
It's not like he hasn't missed games as well, Steve, is it?
Yeah, so I'd say that's probably a good shout, Ozcan. I think your refined list, Ozcan, is probably more realistic. And
do you know what? Do you know what? Left back is probably a priority.
Yeah, now you think of it. Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, Murray Wallace, but is he gonna go out? And that's the moving parts, isn't it? I'm sure there's got to be some exits, isn't there, if we get incomings? Yeah, and poor old Wes Harding as well. He's getting on the bench now, but he's just not getting a kick, is he? So we don't know what'll happen there. Yeah, there's hugely the same what to do at left back. Yeah, that's right. I think Malaki was expected to be the next big thing, but then they got injured.
There's no information when he's going to be back. This guy, is there?
No, not heard of Dicky. And sadly, that's one of the bad things I'd say about Alex Neil. I believe he's a great lover of not giving too much information on players. Well, as a fan, you bloody hate that, don't you? Because you want to know, are they coming back or how long are they going to be out? Going back to Coburn, he was at Sheffield Wednesday. So January the 4th, you do the maths. He said he was at the game. He talked to fans and he said, I'm about 3 weeks away.
Yes, so that's about now.
He should be back. Well, I would have thought last week he should be back. So I would hope he might be on the bench at the weekend, which would be a real booster for us, So I'm just seeing quickly if there's any more comments. Yeah, that must have been when. Sorry about that, guys. When the Norman Collier. Yeah, just my impressions. Just doing a bit of my stand up for you guys while we're there. Wi-Fi packed up back in 1979. You haven't all noticed, by the way, the psychedelic flock wallpaper has gone now, replaced with a crispy crumble Dulux paint. So thanks for not noticing.
What we haven't told them, Steve, is we have to we've got a pedal under the desk up here in the north that we have to keep the Wi-Fi going.
Correct. We'll get Wi-Fi up here soon, Ben. I'm sure. Sorry, I must be 1 mile behind. People are right back there. So let's see if there's been any mentions of names. Yeah, Morgan Whittaker went to Borough. I'm a bit like Angelo. He's never over-impressed me, to be honest.
Nah, not for me, that guy.
I'm sure he's a decent player, but he's never really done it for me. Trying to see if we've got any. Yeah, and he's not been getting much game time, has he? apparently.
No.
Substitute appearances only, yeah. BNC.
Someone said that in the last show. Did someone put that up that he hadn't been playing too much?
No.
Actually, and he has to come back. BNC, another acronym,
Yeah.
3-letter acronym. You have to have an acronym to get in our team right now.
He had a couple of unbelievable games for us last season.
Yeah, it was an interesting one with him, Andrew, because he felt certainly under Joe Edwards, it looked like he was, it was going to be the making of him, didn't it? And then obviously Harris come in and didn't fancy him at all.
Mm.
Sorry, Rob. I'll do me better. Happy wife, happy life, mate. So that's where the crispy crumble comes in. But apologies for that.
Just changing the subject. Changing the subject slightly.
Yeah, me too. Yes.
I was looking at the league table earlier, and I didn't realise this. Do you know we've only lost 4 away games, which I was really surprised with.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't.
Yeah, we've lost 6 at home. At home, and only 4 away from home. It really did surprise me. I think we'd lost a lot more than that away from home, but we're actually 10th in the away table now after them 2 wins. So we need to get our home form back on course, don't we?
Yeah,
sadly,
really
we lost against Oxford, lost against Hull. We need to get that firing again.
Absolutely. I mean, look, on that, it was mentioned earlier, wasn't it? You know, look, there seems to be a real positive. Look, results is key. I get that, but there seems to be quite a positive vibe away from home right now, with the fans especially. And at home, it seems a little flat. And again, performances I know, but it does seem a little flat, and people get a bit peed off. Any thoughts on what's going on there?
Do you think the players find it a bit more pressure at home?
I'd imagine. Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
It's always a little bit more expectation, isn't there, at home? And I think, listen, it's a good opportunity for the players Saturday. The club released earlier, there's only 600 tickets left or 500 tickets, so it's going to be near enough a sellout. Obviously, local derby, so be a big game. The place should be bouncing. We should all be. The players should be looking forward to it. As I say, it should be a good atmosphere that players can embrace it at home. We've actually got a couple of just on the away form. The fixtures coming up, kinder, I guess. We got Plymouth, Preston, and Derby as our next 3. So that could quite easily continue there, fellas. They're games you'd expect us to, certainly based on the last 2 games anyway, 2 away performances, that we've certainly got chances in.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Also, I think after Saturday, we got the players have got a week off, haven't they? Like no midweek game, they get some injuries back, and then we got the Leeds game. I don't know if Alex Neil's going to take the Leeds game serious. I don't know.
The only thing there, man, Joe, is I'd imagine he's going to have to, just with the injuries, isn't he? He probably hasn't got any other options. Unless he puts all the kids out. Yeah, he's probably not really got many other options.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Look, and I think the comment there, he needs a home win, doesn't he? I would like him to get a good home win and a good atmosphere. Saturday would be perfect. I'm sure Jesper particularly would love that. But are
you coming down Saturday?
Sorry?
Are you coming down Saturday?
No, I'm not down.
Yeah, Joe said that he thought you was coming as well.
I was.
Unfortunately,
I'm not doing my street cred very well at the minute. I'm going to a Robbie Williams tribute night on Friday night with
I
work.
wasn't expecting that.
So I'm wearing my crispy crumble trousers. So yeah, unfortunately I can't get down there.
Is the Robbie Williams market big in Bolton? Is it? Steve?
No, it's in Leeds. I'm in dirty Leeds. Actually.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm going on a scouting mission for the following week. So hoping to go to that one the following week. So good, but
music goes live, eh?
Absolutely.
Music
absolutely.
Is life.
So, guys, look, I think we're coming up to about an hour and a half. I think we should wrap it up there. Look, hopefully the guys have enjoyed. I think I'll just say, look, thanks to all our listeners for your contributions. Look, the show is nothing without you putting your points of view across. Sorry, we can't get all your comments up. I don't want to put too many up now because I'm getting some right stick about my crispy crumble on my night out. I'm far too honest on here. That's. I'm taking the hit for Joe, but I'll do a Joe here. Please like and subscribe. All the money raised goes to cancer research. So comments all help to the algorithm. So go on YouTube, tell me I'm a knob for wearing crispy crumble trousers. My paint is shit. Whatever you want to say, if it helps us get some extra money into the coffers for a great charity, then I'll be more than happy to do that. Look, Mark's not impressed at all. Well, at least I'm not going to see the real one, Mark. You know, come on. At least I'm going to see a tribute. It'll probably be like 5'4" fat dumpy guy, won't he? You know, at the Village Hotel. Oh dear, brilliant. So look, I'm going to wrap it up after this, and hang on, guys. There's a great video coming, so don't hang up just yet. But I'll hand over to firstly Ben and then Angelo for final comments. And maybe a prediction for Saturday. Sorry, we didn't say about Saturday.
No, we didn't, did we? Look, far more enjoyable show this week, fellas. So, look, keep positivity up. As you said there, Steve, a big opportunity for Alex Neil to get a much-needed home win. As I say, I'd imagine the players and everyone around the club have got a bit more confidence and looking forward to it. So, prediction for Saturday, I'm going to say 2-0 to us. The big Serbs continue in his rich vein of form. He will score. Don't know about the other one, but yeah, I'll go with that 2-0. And really enjoyed the show, guys. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it's always good to do a glass half full show, and like I said, it's good to look up. We're all looking up at the moment, which is great. What we 7 points off the playoffs, are we? 7 points.
Yeah.
So that's great. QPR, they've been in very, very good form, QPR. They've literally rocketed up that table. They had a blip, I believe, in their last game against Sheffield Wednesday. It's going to be tough. Should be a great atmosphere. And I am going to copy Ben and go for a 2-0.
Excellent. Well, that's great to hear, and some real positivity there. That's an interesting one. Dissolve. Apologies, I don't think I've seen that one before. So who is that? Who is that in disguise?
Well, needs to change that picture.
It's actually Essay. That's him.
That's what I'm saying. Needs to change that.
Hey, you lose love very quickly, don't you? You move on.
That's it. Essay who? You got a new star boy now.
Have you lost your love for Bradshaw as well already?
Yeah, mate. Aaron Connolly's firmly in his shorts already, mate.
Do you know? You know what? There was a picture of him running. He was running behind Ivanovic. He actually looks from behind. Looks like Bradshaw.
It does.
Yeah,
runs like him as well.
Yeah.
Except for them gloves. Lose them bloody gloves.
Yeah, lose the gloves.
Definite. But listen, I think, somebody put on there. Yeah, Mark, sorry, don't underestimate Cupid. I agree. Started terribly, didn't they? And they've been on a good run. I think they've hit a little bit of a blip again. We owe them. It's Chair, isn't it? That Chair is the one.
And also that big striker, Steve. He's back. He's back playing for them. Is it Mark? Is it Frey? He's a handful, mate.
He is, but I'm all right with Tanguy with that. Well, I think he surprised us a bit. I don't think they knew what to expect at their place. So I'd be all right with that. It's that Ilias Chair. He's a horrible little shit, but he's a great little player as well. And he always seems to do damage. So if we can get a grip of him, and old RBW again can have a good game, I think you'll find we'll have a few returnees, or at least one should be on the bench. Go on, Angelo, you was going to say?
Yeah, QPR have got this youngster just come through. I can't remember his name. He's got big afro hair.
Yes.
He's been unbelievable, mate. I can't remember his name. He's got a funny name. But yeah, he's one to watch as well, mate. I agree with that.
There we go.
Not Guy Dissolve. Thanks, mate. That's a beauty. Love that. Loving it. So well done. And yeah, don't forget, we have got a big fucking Serb. That's great, isn't it? The song. And he comes from Serbia. Fucking brilliant. Oh, dear. It's good times. I agree with you, boys. Look, I think these are much, much better times. It's not been a bad season overall so far. We've had these little dips and little issues, but, you know, we're in a good place right now. It would be lovely to turn over QPR on Saturday. And looking forward to that. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. Another nerve jangler. My missus thinks I'm going to have a cardiac arrest watching every game because you get so wrapped up in it and so nervous when it's tight, don't you? I'm scooting back because I wanted to try and find a message. Oh, look at that. I found it. Mr. Donovan, thanks for joining us, Mr. Donovan. Good to have you on board, Paul. So, and is there any truth in the rumour there's a deadline day stream on Chat with Chaps? I suspect there will be, especially if we're still in the market for potential signings. So I think that's right, guys, isn't it? There's a potential of that happening. Yeah,
I think so, mate. Yep.
So get your. Go on.
When is Chat with Chaps back from his holiday? Will he be back?
I think he's moved out to Botswana. I think, mate.
Obviously.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll tell you what was great for the listeners, though. Chris has been sending us pictures of him in Botswana where he's on safari with his missus, and he's watching the games live with the jungle out in front of him, isn't he? You know, on his iPad. Absolutely fantastic. Can't get Wi-Fi in the northwest, Ben. But they can get it out there in Botswana. So you know, that's the world we live in now, guys. Absolutely. So. Right, guys, thanks very much for listening. Great show. Look, good time to be a Millwall fan. Let's hope we get some exciting news over the next couple of days. I think, look, even if we're sort of calming down on the need for new players, it's quite exciting to get new players in, isn't it? You know, the whole buzz of it and the rumour and the Twitter going off and what have you. So let's hope we do get a couple in, and maybe Coburn on a permanent would be great. But most important of all, let's get all rally round, get yourselves down to the Den Saturday, and let's have a really, really good game against QPR and hopefully turn them over. And as people are saying, somebody sit on chair or get Lurch to sit on chair, and we'll be in a good place. So thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks, Angelo. Thanks, Ben. I'm going to play you out if I press the right button, which is end show, and we should get a video. I can't see a button for end show.
We're gonna stay on all night, yeah?
Where is it? Oh no. So where would that be? Sorry, guys, just have a quick chat amongst yourselves.
I think it's top right hand corner somewhere.
End stream. Sorry. Technology's not my forte. So listen, thanks, guys. Enjoy the video, and we will see you next week or very soon with more Chat with Chaps. All the best. Bye for now.